I'm feeling good.
Hello, hello, hello. It's Tamika of Love Inspired Teaching, and we are at the LITE Firestarters podcast. So, we're actually recording today because I have a legendary musician and producer here. I have with us Dr. Gene Chandler. If you know the song, The Duke of Earl, then you know who Dr. Gene Chandler is. But we're really not going to press on as much about his music because you just need to Google him if you don't understand who he is. But I always talk about how music is love. I met Dr. Chandler through his beautiful granddaughter, Shani, who I will have on the podcast a little bit later. But um, Dr. Chandler was receiving an award for Black History Month. And I asked him, I said, will you come on my podcast? And so here he is. So, Dr. Chandler, thank you again for your patience because I was running behind for whatever reason, but he's here. He's here to share his knowledge. And when we had a initial conversation, we were talking about how he firmly believes in service because he's done it for decades. And if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself or just kind of even say what we were literally just talking about before I hit the record button.
Well, I started a 501c3
Mm-hmm.
to serve the public.
Mm-hmm.
I started off at the county hospital.
Okay.
Every Christmas morning for the first 3 years, I went to serve the kids there. You'd be surprised that kids don't really have a toy. And I would always find out who was going to be in the hospital, what was their situation. Then I would go out and shop for those kids, all the way up to 12. And as time went by, it graduated to senior citizens, churches, shelters, churches. I said churches.
That's okay. Church is important.
Yeah. You know, and
Put God first, y'all.
And I would serve all of those people in the suburbs, giving away turkeys, baskets of food. Thanksgiving and Christmas is the time that I did most of the work. Sometime during the year, if something would happen and it was a really bad situation, I would join in and help that family or whatever the case might be. But basically, it was Thanksgiving and Christmas that I did all the serving of everybody.
Okay. But why did you decide to do that? Because you knew that kids may be lucky to have one toy, or what inspired you to do that?
My heart.
Heart is important. Do you
That's
think that people today have heart?
Yeah, that's some.
Some.
Yeah, they're out there. You just have to know or find them. But the first time I took a turkey up to the third floor for an older lady that had been recommended to me by the Masons, I gave her a turkey. She started crying.
Yeah.
And I said, what are you crying for? She said, nobody ever gives me anything.
Wow.
And I said, well, what about your children? Her exact words was, they ain't about nothing.
Oh, wow.
Okay? And of course, I kept serving her every year,
That's
along with other senior citizens, you know, but I was hooked from that point.
Right.
You know, I didn't know it was that bad because I was busy with my career and businesses that I was operating and doing the things I was doing. And I decided to give back. So I did it for 29 years.
Yeah. Through his 501c3. So just to give you guys a little bit of an intro, and Dr. Chandler and I talked about this briefly, but if you don't know what LITE Firestarters podcast is about, we talk about spicy topics related to relationships, wealth, health and wellness, and spirituality. So I would really say, you know, when we talk about giving back, that is actually wealth. That really feeds your soul. It feeds the soul of the person that you're helping. So it's really also interconnected with your spirituality because you've got to have a giving spirit as well. But sometimes there are people who don't have that monetary access. And when you have a 501c3, it actually, when you give to those people, it's also a tax write-off, which is not a bad thing because we're all helping one another and we're giving back. And we're also making sure that by him having a 501c3, he can continue to give back, right? Like what?
Donations that come to me, those people can write them off.
Exactly.
I never held a fundraiser, but I did get donations every year from a few people.
But who told you to establish the 501c3 so that you could continue make the giving have that ripple effect? Or did you just know to do it on your own?
Well, I found out to do it
Okay.
on my own.
Okay.
No, I just simply read. Somebody told me, because see, you can write off everything that you buy,
Absolutely.
as well as people, if they give you a donation, they can write it off.
And it gives you that opportunity to give more.
Yeah, I didn't pay any taxes for the toys, the turkeys, wherever I got them from, because I had a tax number that was a 501c3.
Correct.
So it saved me a lot of money. It's what it did as I moved forward. And each year it grew to all of those things that I said. And it's just a thrill. It's a feeling that comes over you when children are smiling because you gave them a toy.
Right.
Or an old lady like this lady, she was crying. And I made sure she was taken care of every year after that. She lasted about 5 more years after that.
Really?
And I lost her. But there were other old ladies that she introduced me to that I was taking care of also.
Yeah.
But no, it's a feeling that comes over you that only you can explain.
And does that 501c3 still exist to this day? Did you hand it on to someone else?
I retired in 2018.
Okay.
If I could have handed the organization over to someone who I thought would have the same care that I gave it, I would have done that.
Okay, but he wanted to make sure it was done properly.
Right.
And that's critical. For anything that is affiliated with your name, your brand, your presence, you got to make sure you have the right person in place to take over.
Yeah.
And so you retired in 2018, but you also mentioned that the Masons made a recommendation for you to help this woman that you initially helped. So what about your that organization? And from what I understand, you're a member as well, right?
Yeah, I'm a sovereign grant.
Wow. Okay. What does that mean? A sovereign? Say it again.
Well, it's a position that you get that you just can't get it. You have to earn it.
You've done a lot to
the
earn it.
higher ups watch you and see how you do things and what you do, and see if you qualify to become a sovereign grant.
And Dr. Chandler qualifies, y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so humble. I love your humility about this, but not everyone can say that they're doing what you're doing. And given the state, our political state, our economic state, all the different states we're in, what advice would you give to those about the importance of service and giving back to others?
The importance of doing it. You put others in position where they can have a nice Thanksgiving dinner. It's Christmas, nice Christmas dinner, toys for kids who wouldn't get them otherwise.
Was it always centered on the holidays that you would give?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's the giving time.
It is the giving season.
And because I was busy and I had businesses, at one point I was running 5 corporations.
Wow.
But I
want him to come back, y'all. We need to talk more. He told me, Tamika, I thought I was only going to be on for like 10 minutes. I was like, oh no, I'm going to pick your brain as long as you let me.
So I was really thrilled by it all. And the accolades and the things that came back to me, you can't replace those things. But I enjoyed every moment of it. When you give from your heart, you don't realize how much work you're doing.
Right.
As time went by, of course, like in this stage of my life, people want me to do a bio or something, and I'll have to tell these stories. God, I did a lot of work.
You did.
But you don't know that you're working it hard when you're enjoying it, and you're doing it from your heart.
That's so true. They say it's not working if you love what you do, right? Is that true or not really?
It's not working if you love what you do. That doesn't.
It doesn't feel like work if you love what you do. Is that a better way to put it?
Okay, it doesn't feel like work.
It doesn't feel like work, but it's work.
It's work. Yeah. Didn't know it though, because I was so glad. I couldn't wait till that time of year to come around. I was like a little kid waiting on Christmas.
Yeah.
And Thanksgiving.
You were like Santa Claus.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah, I guess you would say that.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, there were times when I went to serve the kids with toys and things, that I wore a Santa cap.
Did you?
ABC Channel 7
Mm-hmm.
recorded my work at different times at the county hospital.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I got a 5-minute tape CD that starts from the beginning when I was in the county.
Okay.
And I think ABC was the one that taped me. And I was coming down the hall pulling my wagon with all of the stuff on
Mm-hmm.
to go to each room. And I was saying, oh, the weather outside is frightening.
Do you hear his voice?
Da, da,
Yes, we get some music today too.
Simply no place to go.
I can't
Let
sing
us
like
know, let us know, let us know.
I love it. Oh, I'm so honored. I got to hear his voice.
And then they were mocking me
really
for the first couple of words or so.
Oh.
And then somebody, I think Joe Burton said, yes, it is cold outside, Gene. Yeah.
That's wonderful. I know Cheryl Burton. That's wonderful. So did you ever meet my dad's wife? His wife is Zoraida Sambalin. She used to be a.
I don't know who you know.
Oh, my dad is Kenny Williams. He used to work for the White Sox. He was when the '05, when they won the World Series in '05. He was at the helm with the hothead Ozzie Guillen.
Ozzie Guillen, ball player.
They were both ball players. That's how they met. They played together for the Sox way back when in the '80s. Were you into
Kenny
baseball? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was into baseball. As time when I played baseball.
Did you really? What position did you play?
Outfielder.
Okay, so was my dad. He was center. I should know these things. He was center field. Mm-hmm. They move you around. He could have played a different field, but he was back there. I know that. But you catch the ball, not the pop-ups. That's the shortstops that do that. But yeah, you played. So you played ball.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, my dad played ball, and then he went into management.
Team
of the Chicago White Sox.
Oh, he was.
He was the general manager of the White Sox when they won, and then the coach, Ozzie Guillen was the coach, right?
Did you say that?
I think so.
But I didn't think he was the coach at that time.
When
you said it was 05?
05 World Series. Then when they won the whole thing, the whole shebang.
I've done so much.
I'll be honest with you. Do you see what a terrible sports person I am? I'll be like, this is what I know. This is what I'm not sure on. Because it was mine. Like you said, when you're doing it, you don't realize what it is, right?
Yeah.
Because
how much it is and how much work.
What the value of it is.
Because I was enjoying it and putting smiles on kids' faces and what have you. So that's what it was all about.
In the hospital, though, let me tell you something about Cook County Hospital, okay? My aunt was a nurse in Cook County Hospital for decades, and then one of my exes who had a gunshot wound had to go to county for some of his surgeries. When Cook County serves everybody, okay? And they most especially serve those who are lower income. And if you come from a situation like that woman where no one gives you anything, the healing that what Jean did, I don't think words can express it. For instance, my house caught fire, y'all, like last Tuesday. But guess what? My grandma had passed, and her funeral was the following Saturday. So ask me if I cared about any of those material things. What touched my heart was those people that said, Tamika, don't you worry about this fire. We'll take care of whatever you need. Just focus on your grandma's funeral. So I feel like you gave people peace of mind. And in the season of giving, sometimes if you can't give, it hurts your heart, right? So for Jean to give people that peace of mind is the LITE that the company name is about, because the name of the company is Love Inspired Teachee. We're a sales and marketing consulting company, but this podcast is designed to spread the light. So when you hear Love Inspired Teachee, the acronym is LITE. And Dr. Chandler here, not only through music, has spread light to others, but through his charitable works, he spread light to others. Now, I want to...
The name of my 501c3 was Project Happiness.
Yay! I love it. I was wondering what the name of it was, but when he told me he retired, I was like, well, we can't tell people because they're going to look for it.
No, it's gone now.
No, but Project Happiness will forever live on through his stories. And I want to respect his time because he told me he had places to be. And you're also, next up, you're going to hear from his granddaughter, Shawnee Greenfield, who blessed me with the honor of introducing me to her grandfather. And she's like, Tamika, I don't introduce a lot of people to my grandfather, so you're special. So thank you to both Shawnee and to Dr. Chandler for sharing time. But we're going to let Dr. Chandler get on to the rest of his day. Is there any other words you'd like to share with anyone who's watching?
No,
Words of wisdom.
just that I love them,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry I had to retire, but in life you have to know when to hold and when to fold. Okay?
So true.
And so I wanted to be able to enjoy all the fruits of my labor. So I planned on leaving the business after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Can't do the same things I used to do on the stage anyway.
Right.
So I wanted to leave them while I was ahead.
Yeah, that's the best way to go, they say.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you again, Dr. Chandler. I really appreciate you. And I will be sure to let you know when the recording airs and make sure you get a copy of it as well.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to stop the recording. And like I said, I'll add